Hello, my friends, and welcome to another pick a card reading. This pick a card reading will be looking at what messages are there from fairy tales and movies for you. And I've picked 3 decks, which are all fairy tale kind of decks. And then I've got the movie tarot, which I'm going to use to clarify messages for you. So essentially, there's lots of stories in these decks, and they all have messages. So which ones are going to come out for you, and how can they advise you and help you? So messages from fairy tales and movies, that's what the question is for you. Pile 1, which is the Tarot of the Divine. Pile 2, which is the Disney Villains Tarot. And pile 3 is the Star Spinners Tarot. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, messages from fairy tales and movies. Timestamps will be in the description box below, and I'll see you at your reading. Bye. Hello, pile 1, and welcome to your reading. Wow, I just have to say that this is just so interesting, because it's just that story of Thumbelina, which I've just looked at here, is really something so special. You guys are like, sorry if you just saw the mic kind of swing into action there. I forgot to put it down, and trying to get it down without moving the camera is quite a feat, so do excuse me for the little shake that's going on here. But in respect, no, it's not going to happen. Bear with me 1 second, my darlings. So yeah, this story of Thumbelina is very interesting. It's about independence, and about having to find your own way, really. So this, it's really interesting about the stories that are going to come forward in order for you to learn from, well, what is it that these stories have to give you. Already we've got like a really strong kind of thing about independence, and about how we strive forward. These 2 cards are saying this is the time for you now to strive out and create your own independence, to create your own sense of love, of beauty, of you, of who you are. And there's a very independent vibe here, particularly with this Taurian energy. It's like, I'm going to do what I want to create the life that I want to, because there's a sense that you have also had to not be yourself. There's a sense that you've not been allowed to be who you want to be. You've had to keep it repressed. You know, the ideas that I'm getting now is like, maybe if you were, you know, if I know that the majority of people who come and see me are women, but if it was a guy or a male, somebody who identified as a male, maybe they wanted to come out and identify as a female in drag, maybe, and it was something that they absolutely loved doing, but they were kind of not allowed to do it, or shunned in their kind of community, or by their parents, or maybe however they were brought up. So it's all about finding your tribe and about being yourself. And when you are truly yourself initially, and really trying to find out who you are, once you've been in a space where you have been adhering to and kind of trying to fit into a box, there can be a sense where you do feel lonely. So, but in this respect, I think you're really following on your resolve and starting to understand that really embracing your true self is going to be the way forward. Yeah, because Thumbelina, this story is so beautiful. She doesn't know who she is. She's kind of like pushed around different groups. She doesn't know if she's fairy. She doesn't know if she's human. She doesn't know she's where she belongs. But when she goes through all of the kind of trials and tribulations of her life, she manages to survive and become a formidable young woman. even though she's as big as the thumb. And what's really interesting, I thought, like, they've both got like stripy tights, which says to me that there may be something very quirky about you, and that's to be celebrated, not to be negated. You are magnificent, and what is coming very clearly from these cards is that your identity is something to be proud of, and your trials and tribulations make you who you are. It may be quite a lonely path. You may also be an entrepreneur that's starting out something and, you know, making a life for yourself, really making some kind of financial stability. It could even be that you may be looking at something like burlesque dancing, or maybe even something in that kind of field, that might be something that you want to do. And it gives you a really good, stable income. And you know that you're really good at it, but you're not going to rely on anyone to do it. But there may be other people who feel that they don't really resonate with that, and they may not resonate with it, or they may want you to be something different. I do get that as well. Like, there's a sense of people wanting you to do what they think is right for you, and you're like, hang on a minute, I need to like follow my own destiny. I need to do what I'm supposed to do, rather than like listen to what other people think that they want to. What they want to, you know, kind of put forward. So immediately we've got the Queen of Swords here. That says to me about negative thoughts and negative mindset, talking to yourself in a negative manner. It needs to go in the bin. Because it's not going to help you in the long run. And also, that's the only thing that's really standing in your way to be able to kind of embrace this beauty that is you. You're a fierce, independent person. And it's really important that you make sure that you listen to your heart and don't cut yourself so much with your own words. You may think that you feel that you should have been somewhere at one level. You might have been, you know, there's this shoulda, woulda, coulda kind of vibe, where we're telling ourselves that we should have been in a place by now, maybe age, whatever, experience, whatever it is. It's never too late to start. It's never too late to be who you truly are meant to be. It's always the right time. I do also see that there may have been a mother figure as well, that might have been quite cutting. It might even be a teacher, you know. I remember one teacher told me that I was never going to become an actor and go to drama school. And I remember years later, I actually met his colleague, and I told this other teacher, this is what this other teacher said to me. And then I told her what I'd done, and she was like, I can't believe he said that to you. But yeah, that's that Queen of Swords kind of energy. So if they're naysayers, then let them be your fuel. But don't let them, those voices might reverberate in your head and tell you to actually, you know, they might actually attack you, you know, because they might take form as your own thought form. So do watch that. It's probably one of the most initial things, but the stories here are saying that. And I'm seeing also birds and the lips. It's really interesting. So I don't know, pile one, there's something very strong sexually, particularly with Black Moon Lilith. It's almost like your sexuality that has been repressed is the key to you achieving your own knightdom, you know, your own independence. There's something very strong sexually for you, particularly with the lips and the rose here. Yeah, I'm feeling that. And also with this Taurian energy, there's something very sensual, very sexual about you, that's really important for you to embrace. You've also got the Seven of Coins here as well, which is saying to me about the ability to be able to build upon things that may not have seemed that like big initially. You know, and also people may look at what you've done or look at what you're doing and think, oh, that isn't really that much, that isn't really that big, and And also, you might not think that that's that big. You might be like, oh, well, I've only got this. This is the place where I'm starting from. And that's okay. You know, we've all got to start from somewhere. And I think it's really important. Here it is. We've got this, I think it's Nana Huatzin. It's from Aztec mythology. And here it says the 7 of coins represents the desire for a good harvest, though it might require a sacrifice. Nana Huatzin must determine when it is right to be patient or when it is better to scrap everything and start fresh. Well, this is the thing. I think in this respect, you've got something that's like a small fire that's burning, particularly with here. And it's something that I feel like that's burnt inside of you for a long time. And I feel like it's important, but it started off small. And I think this will build, you know, it's really building. Let me just check on these. Now, each of these are going to have stories. So let me check because I've got the full stories. And then I can... Actually, you know what? I'm going to lay down all of the cards first and get my thoughts from them. And then I will look at the book. Okay, so we've got the Ace of Swords, the Gorgon Knot, the 10 of Wands reversed. Yeah, this makes sense. Yeah, because all of these cards have like stories as well. So I'm going to lay them and then I'm going to look at the meanings afterwards. But I want to see first. And the 9 of Swords. Okay. I think you know what you're doing. Part 1, you know that. Ouch. You know that there's like stories what this story is just confirming. These stories, they're just confirming what's going on. They're confirming that you know that you can't stick around in a space where you are being suppressed. You have to be clear. You have to take things forward. You have to be able to express yourself in a really beautiful and free way that enables you to be able to, you know, just you. It's really important because if you don't, I'm not even considering the don't because I don't even think it's here. I think it's the only person who's really the main enemy is you. And voices that have collectively like stayed. Because, you know, I think that you're going to do the impossible. You're going to do something that people didn't even think that you were going to do. This story is about the Gorgon Knot. And how this knot was tied, and then in the end Alexander the Great just came and sliced it open because everybody was trying to like open it, but then he just came and sliced it open, which I just thought was funny, because it's all the hype, isn't it? It's all the hype, and then really just cut it open. This story is about these two stories here, Orpheus and this one here. I can't remember what the name of it is, but these are both tales of where, you know, heavy expectations of things are upon these people and they cost them their lives. They cost them the whole legacy. Whereas like with them both reversed is telling me that, you know, this time is over. It's about you being able to be your own knight and to walk forward and to take up your sword and to conquer this Queen of Swords that's here. Beautiful, beautiful reading. 8 of Swords. Okay, there's still a little bit of like, fear, but that's in conjunction with this Queen of Swords energy that's here because it's just old patterning. But it's nothing you can't work through, pile 1. Nothing you can't deal with. So let me just have a quick look at these stories and see if they've got any other messages, and I'll be back. Such wonderful stories. This story of the 7 of Pentacles is quite beautiful. It's about this god that sacrificed himself into the fire as part of a ritual, and one was going to become the moon and one was going to become the sun. And the one that was going to become the moon, he was quite, you know, ill, not very healthy. So they nominated him to become the moon, and then this kind of like bright figure who was really healthy and pompous and really like charismatic and just charmed everyone. They said that he was going to be the son, but in order for them to take up these roles, they had to put themselves into the fire. And the one that was supposed to be the son got a bit freaked out and said that they didn't want to, they didn't, they were a bit scared about chucking themselves on the fire. But the one who was the moon, he was very free and easy in the respect of him throwing himself on the fire. So he did that first. And then, because he didn't want to get shown up, the one who was the son threw himself on the fire afterwards. But because those around him saw the actions of what they took, how they were and how they threw themselves into the fire, they ended up making the god that was kind of lesser and lowly, because he threw himself onto the fire willingly and took his responsibility strongly. He took the sacrifice and really went for it. They made him the sun, and then they made the other one the moon. So I just thought that was really interesting, because it's that whole idea of, you really coming into your power, being who you're meant to be, and just taking that step and that strength, even if you are lonely, even if you are ridiculed, even if you are made to feel like this is not what you're supposed to be doing. This is a green light for you to, this is what these stories and the energies from these stories are telling you, to go forward and to do this. The only obstacle is your own fears and insecurities, particularly with that 8 of Swords as well, and the Queen of Swords. And you can be pretty nasty to yourself, because this Queen of Swords is absolutely, when I read that tale, it's about a princess that just chops off the heads off of all of the suitors, and it's just really horrible. So, and with it reversed, it's even worse. So I would just be really mindful about how these swords and how you talk to yourself, be really clear with yourself, because it seems to me like the swords can be very useful for you to be able to do what you've got to do, but make sure that you don't cut yourself in the process. Make sure that you're not hurting yourself, harming yourself in the process. You've got the 9 of Swords reversed, which is great, but there is a little bit of entrapment that's going on. You could feel that you're trapped by your own thoughts. You could talk yourself out of doing something, and please don't do that, because the world needs your light. You need to shine out there to realize your destiny. Interesting. So we've got the Queen of Coins. I definitely feel like this is somebody who this is maybe a caregiver, and their programming that's come into action. So I think this is something in terms of healing that might be something to look at in that respect. But it definitely feels like there's something. And there's also this whole thing, so with Lara Croft, she is this character who's very independent, exceptionally independent, and she has money, but when it's reversed, it's that money that's being used for abuse, and kind of exploited in a way. So that might have happened, and if it did, I'm really sorry if it did happen, but now is the time for you to, all of these things have made you who you are, so this is time for you to embrace this beauty of you. 4 of Swords. So with the 4 of Swords and being with this, I think, with that sense of self-sacrifice, it's okay. I think that idea that you have to be something, do it all now, or you should have done it yesterday. No, I think it's okay that you are at the stage that you're at, and that you have done what you're supposed to be doing right now. You're in the right place. You're in exactly the right place at the right time for where you need to be right now. Don't give yourself a hard time about it. Please be kind to yourself. I really feel this urgency to just tell you that you're doing okay, and that you're doing all right, and you're doing the right things. Just keep on putting one foot at the front of the other. You are really doing such an amazing job. You really are. Wow. King of Wands, clarifying the Knight, clarifying the Ace of Swords. So also Indiana Jones, again, another character who just, was totally against the establishment, not against the establishment, but went and did his own thing. And the thing that gets me more here is about the story of Harrison Ford, and about how he was a carpenter on set of Star Wars, and that's how he got famous. They saw him and then they decided to put him into the film, or they asked him to audition for a part and he got Han Solo. So I think it's really important for you to be in a position where you feel like you're strong, because your clarity will put you in rooms. It feels like it will make you get seen. And it's really important for you to do that, to be yourself, to be really clear with yourself, because you're going to have to put yourself out there, and you know, having to go up against anything else is just in the way. And I see this very much with actors, you know, actors who are not making it. There's a big internal battle, and the ones who really go forward and make stuff, it's just they can really realize their true potential without having any kind of emotional baggage around it. And Indiana Jones doesn't have any baggage. He gets away from all of that. He just goes in and he just like does it, even though the character is questionable in respect of, like, you know, how things are today, and you know, going and robbing things from ancient civilizations. But he was essentially an explorer, and if we take those themes into account, and he did things on his own, similar with the Queen of Coins, like with this energy of Lara Croft doing things on their own, not born from money, but just for the exploration of things, more so for the acquisition, you know. So yeah, I feel like your destiny is to be going out there and exploring and pushing boundaries. I feel pile 1. Wow, Queen of Wands reversed, 10 of Wands. Sometimes when you speak about yourself, or you think, you know, that kind of energy, it's really interesting. We've got 2 Queen of Swords reversed, Queen of Coins reversed, and Queen of Wands reversed. I don't know. I think there's some stuff going on with, like, women here. Whether or not you're male or female, there's definitely something where women oppressed. There's some oppression from a female side, and I felt that anyway with that Thumbelina card. So be careful that that's not, like, working against you in the way of, you know, you want to be, and I haven't seen, oh God, what is that film? Hunger Games. I haven't seen it, but I have seen Battle Royale, which is what Hunger Games was based on. So I think, you know, it's really important for you to know where you have to really, really be yourself, because if you're not, it feels like it is quite cutthroat where you are. And not only that, cutthroat in the respect of your own head and, you know, the places where you are. Like, for example, if you are going into acting or something like that, I would say you need to have, like, a really strong resolve, and you have to be able to face rejection, what that card is about. You have to be able to face it so much, like more than the average person. You will face more rejection than as an actor, right? Not in this reading, but as an actor, you will face more rejection than most people will do in a lifetime. So, you know, you have to have, like, an exceptional resolve. And I also feel like your experiences here is telling me that you do have that. So, yeah, but just be careful that, you know, not to put that on anybody else, you know. It's all about keeping your heart open, because that's what that Thumbelina is about. Even though that situations may be so shit, you may still have to, you know, exude and project a really positive. I'm not talking about a manipulated form of positivity, but I'm talking about, like, or a fake form of positivity. I'm talking about a beautiful, something that shows that you will still be happy and grateful. Even though things go really, really wrong and are really unfair. And that's a real test of our resolve, isn't it? And then 9 of Swords, you've got the King of Swords reversed. Interesting, we've got so many people here. So I think that, you know, not only will you have benefactors, it seems like the men are on your side here, to be honest with you. It seems like the kings are on your side. The male, you've got very good male energy. It's just the female energy that's that needs healing. And we'll take a quick look at that with the oracle cards and see what we can get from there. And no wonder you're kind of like in this space where you're like kind of crouching. It's like this little girl that's here in this space, because you have to be this kind of King of Swords and this King of Wands. You have to like be seen as you're just pushing forward. But know that this is a strength, you know. I think also people will be jealous of what you're doing, because there's that thing where people, you know, if they see others doing what they want to do, they get jealous. Absolutely, they get jealous. So, also, in the respect of Mission Impossible, you know, again, it's this solo character. I mean, obviously we have solo characters, protagonists, main protagonists, but, you know, it's very, like, there's a sense of being calculated, and very clear cut, particularly with that Ace of Swords as well. So there's very strong intentional energy that's going on here, and that is what's needed here, because, you know, there's a lack of female energy, but then that's something that needs to be kind of maybe looked at. But yeah, the divine female, divine feminine. Interesting. Yeah, I think that's your work. That's what this is. And it's so interesting because it's Lilu from The World. And the main thing I remember from that movie is that and I love The Fifth Element. It's one of my favourite movies of all time. Such a beautiful film. And it's the whole thing about the perfect human being. And they're looking for these 4 elements, earth, air, fire, water. And then they realise that this 4th element, 5th element even, is, you know, the perfect human being. And then it turns out that it's this woman, which they thought it was going to be a man. And also the key ingredient as well, which I'm not going to tell you just in case you haven't seen it. But the key ingredient is something that's so precious, and you can't buy it anywhere. That's a clue. And it makes the world go around, and it's not money. But it's something that we share that can't be bought, that we share with our friends and our family, and something that needs to be cultivated within. So this seems to be like a journey for you, Pile 1, of what you're doing. This is what these stories are telling you. They're telling you to go ahead with being your true self and really embrace your true self, even though you face so much kind of oppression on that front. And also that this is your work to instigate and to discover and cultivate your divine feminine. So I've got some other cards for you to empower you. So let's have a look. Medusa, interesting. Jealousy leads to a downfall. So I think what I'm getting from this is the whole like envy, the green-eyed monster. So that, you know, there may be that idea that where people have it better than you, and they don't. They really don't. Seriously, it's just a matter of perspective. So I think it's important to understand that what you're going through, I know it may seem better with other people, but, you know, this is making you who you are. So that's really important. You've also got Ixchel, release. Interesting, because we've got 2 Aztec kind of pieces here, or cards here. So you need to release all the old things that are not serving you, and just continue on this wheel, because, you know, otherwise you're not going to be able to end this cycle of like this abusive female kind of energy. And when I say that, I'm talking about your divine feminine within yourself being attacked. So there's something about that. Maybe you've had to feel that you've had to just keep on keeping on, and there's something that needs to be released in that. Maybe go to the spa or some kind of like, it feels like an energy release. I wouldn't be surprised if you take up some classes like in burlesque or something like that. That might be really nice. Or like some dancing that might release your hips. That might be something really, really nice to work with. So yeah, and I will do this one. Purpose it's reversed. I know what I'm here to do. You got 2 of these cards, so I thought I'd do one here and one there. So purpose is reversed. So that says to me that you still are discovering yourself. Yeah, you're still discovering yourself, pile 1. So this is a journey. I know what I am here to do. You don't. It seems like you might not know that, and that's why it's reversed. So while you're still on this journey, be kind, be loving, you know, and know that you have to get rid of your tit tat. I meant to say tat, but it came out tit. Sorry. You have to get rid of your toots. That's what I was trying to say, toots, which is rubbish. You need to get rid of your stuff so that you can make room for the new and grow and evolve. But don't be bitter about it. Okay. And a magical spell card for you. Wow. I tell you, if you're doing like dancing or modeling or something, I'm telling you, glamour, and into this mirror I now see the realms of possibility. So this, I do feel something about beauty as well, because we've got 6 here, we've also got 4 as well with the Emperor, so I'm not surprised with some kind of like male structured energy as well. And you've also got the 4 of Swords here, but you know, I do feel like beauty, and I feel there's something very sexy about you, pile 1, very sexy. So whatever it is, capitalize upon that beautiful sensuality that you have. And I don't know, I wouldn't say so much actually. Yeah, sensuality, yeah, but there's something very sexy, and it's very nice. And I think embracing that and releasing the rest is going to be amazing for you. So please do see that in yourself. It's going to be amazing. And then this is just a Mansions of the Moon card. So Nashira, adaptation and achievement. I shall bring it up to here. Oh, sorry about that. I was just moving the mic. So, overcome your concerns by embracing change. In the midst of confusion, one can also find purpose. You can pause the video if you wish to read that. So, we've got Saturn and Jupiter and Aquarius. Overcome your concerns by embracing change. In the midst of confusion, one can also find purpose. So, coming back to what we saw here with the purpose card. Very interesting, beautiful reading, pile 1, beautiful. I hope you enjoyed that reading. Really, really beautiful, beautiful reading. If you did like it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, I really enjoyed doing this pick a card for you. It was really beautiful. And good luck with your journey. Please embrace everything that you are, because you are wonderful, pile 1. And I'm really excited for the magic you are to unleash on this world by being yourself. Lots of love, my darlings. Take care. Bye. Hello, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. This is very interesting, actually. So messages from movies and fairy tales, or from fairy tales and movies. So, wow. This tale is about sight. It's about how you need to be careful who you tell your stuff to. Because if you tell people, they can use it against you. And it's interesting how we have the South Node and the North Node. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was some kind of like possible persecution in a past life for speaking out about maybe a gift you had or something that happened, or maybe not following up on on things that you spoke about, because we've got discipline here and it's in the reverse, and that says to me that I can accomplish what I set my mind to. With it being reversed, it means that there's some kind of lack of discipline that's going on here, and maybe if there's a tendency to like speak about things before they've come into fruition, or maybe speak your plans, or maybe talk about them, or maybe talk to the wrong people about them, not only may people get jealous of what you're doing, but also there may be a thing of where people actually might try and sabotage you. So this is quite a hard lesson, actually. Not a hard lesson, but it's an unpleasant story. And sundress, do it for you. Now it's really interesting with this card, because she's in a sundress, but she's in the mountains in heels, and she's in snow. So I think what the main thing is here, I think the main thing I'm getting from here is doing it for you. So it's not about you telling other people what it is that you're doing and what it is you're getting up to. There is also this saying as well that if you do tell people, the more people that you tell what you're going to do, there's more of a likelihood that you're not going to do it. So it's really important that you are disciplined and you are able to kind of really focus on, you. Particularly when it comes to your special talents, your abilities. If you are, if you do have any of the clairs, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, claircognizance, and also smelling and taste. If you've got any of those, like, clair or mediumship or any kind of like psychic abilities, I'd really keep it to yourself. This isn't something that I don't think that it's advisable. The stories I'm getting from these cards is telling me that, do it for you. Don't do it for anybody else. Do it for you. And only you have to know. And maybe the people that you really trust, but don't make a big thing out of it, which is really interesting because we live in the world of social media and about how, we need to put ourselves out there and all the rest of it. But there's something about the South and the North Node here that I don't know. That just feels to me that, something was said. And I mean, it's quite a hard story in the respect of someone getting persecuted for them saying something that they shouldn't, or basically they had a site and they got punished for it because they believed that they could, they believed that they could trust someone, and unfortunately they couldn't. So I think it's important that you just recognize that keeping things to yourself and it also allows you to have this sense of discipline as well, which I'm feeling. Just trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, this is definitely to do with karma in the respect of like where you may have been someone that did like tell people a lot of things and were used to communicating on a wide scale, but it might have got you into trouble. So this is what this life is about. It's about, understanding that and then going further on into your life, really being able to capitalize upon that and not put yourself in any kind of compromising positions, let's say. So pile 2, let's have a look at what messages are there from Fairytales. So, I mean, obviously the Disney, portfolio isn't necessarily all fairy tales, but all of the tales have some kind of like lessons from them or morals. So let's see what they had to say. Yeah, these cards don't tend to jump out, but we'll see what happens. Page of Swords reversed. Yeah, got to keep that. Got rain in that tongue. Wow. Pile. Oh, sorry. Pile 2. 10 of Swords. Sun reversed. And the 6 of Wands. It's interesting because this cat is this is a cheeky cat, which you don't want to. I know that. I just can't remember. Is it 101 Dalmatians? I think it might be. But this was the cat that you didn't want to really let out of the bag. You didn't want to say anything around this cat. Because there's some drama that's involved here. And it can be a bit painful. A lot of ego swimming around. And I just get the feeling when people see you celebrating some stuff, they get really jealous. Knight of Wands. And it's difficult for you not to share your news, I feel. You feel like you want to be open, and you almost feel like there's a sense of you compromising yourself because you're not being open, but you're not, honestly. You're just honoring yourself. 2 here. So the King of Swords reversed, interesting. And the Chariot. And there is Cruella herself. So, I mean, yeah, there's definitely like some kind of want to tell people things. But the thing is that actually if you don't and you keep things to yourself, you actually will move more ahead, more forward. This King of Swords, people may think that you are being really snotty, and I think that this is also like your own perception of it. But I do think that there are people that don't have your best interests at heart. Yeah, particularly with that King of Swords character reversed. I mean, it's Scar, so of course. I don't know who this is. You may know. But there's just this kind of like careless energy. Isn't it this character? Aren't they the same characters? I think they are the same characters. But, which is really interesting if that's the case. Really interesting with them being next to each other. So this is the thing. What may be seen as something that's like a small win, I would keep it to yourself. I wouldn't be telling anybody about it. I really wouldn't be. I'd just strive on, because it just seems to me like there are just people that just want to. There is a feeling that they just don't want you to succeed. And it's horrible to think that people would do that. But you just don't know who you're coming into contact with, particularly if you do like some kind of psychic work. And for those of you that do, and I know that a lot of my viewers do kind of do that sort of work, you know, when you're dealing with big energies, the other big energies come. So there's like, and I learned this. I didn't learn it the hard way, but I found it out, because then that's when things start to come to you and you're just like, oh, can I handle this? But then things that you didn't think that you could handle actually are just like a walk, well, not a walk in the park, but they're normal. Do you know what I mean? When I first started on this journey, I started to see things that I really didn't want to see. And then now it's kind of normal, because it's the name of the game. If you're in this work, you know, you're going to see these amazing things, and you're going to see these not so amazing things. So you have to kind of take it as it comes. But that's all part of the learning process. And I think kind of shouting out about it is not what you want to do, particularly with your energy, because it seems to me that there's some vulnerability here. That sundress, with her wearing that in the winter, is giving me being a bit stupid vibes. It's giving me that there's a little bit of like carelessness and kind of like naivety. That's what I'm looking for. There's a bit of a naive vibe that's going on here. And that can be really, really detrimental to you. So just watch out for that. It's not so much as in like, yeah, you've got to keep like secret and, oh, you know, it's all secrets and stuff. It's more to do with your own sense of vulnerability that people may look to capitalize upon, or they may look to react upon, so that they can bring you down, quite simply. Yeah, with that Ten of Swords there, for sure. It's interesting. You just don't think that there would be some people in the world that kind of like to see other people go downhill, but there are. So take care, pile 2. This is what the main messages is coming through. Okay, King of, wow. So we had Queen of Coins here for pile 1, and now you've got the King of Coins. To me, that says that there's somebody that wants to take advantage of your energy. So you best be careful about who you like chat to. Whatever it is that you do, it just seems like somebody wants a piece of you. They want a piece of you. And they want some of your juicy stuff. The World reversed. And I think that this is going to be a consistent thing for a bit. You know, don't think that you go from one environment, and you know, everybody's going to be amazing and like fairy tales and glitter disco balls. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be more that this is going to be something that's going to continue. You're going to continue to meet these people. They're going to be in every kind of walk of life. You just have to be able to manage it. You know, I think that's really important. Knight of Swords reversed. Wow, Page of Swords, Knight of Swords reversed. There's some people chatting some shit, man. And also, right, just as I said, like just be really wary about who you talk to, because there may be some people that you think that you can connect with, and then all of a sudden they're like waste people. They're not very nice. They're not very good. Also, like rushing in where I always think of rushing in where angels fear to tread, and the Knight of Swords, you know, the girl with the dragon tattoo, she had to be so cautious, and every time that she thought that she came closer to the goal. I don't know the exact story, but I know that it's brilliant, and I know the basics. But every time she kind of came to the point where she thought that she would know the answers, it was just kind of really elusive. So yeah, it was just kind of like this constant twist and turn, you know. And it feels like there are people around that want to put you in that space where you don't know where you are, so that they can confuse you. And I definitely get that also with the King of Coins reversed, because Willy Wonka's supposed to be, you know, somebody really lovely and kind of, well, not lovely, but there was a playful kind of quality to him that you could really, which was enterprising. But in this respect, it's more something that someone that wants to take advantage of good nature, maybe manipulative of business and whatnot. So there could be like something in the respect of like, you know, you may have a really amazing skill and then you want to go into business with someone to like market it, but then you need to be careful about who you're doing that with. Make sure that, like, I wouldn't say right now that there is anybody that you can trust right now. And I would say like it would be important, as in like a long-term business partner, for you to kind of make your own stuff on your own, do your own thing. Same with love. I don't see anything like that here either. I think right now is about you being able to really keep yourself to yourself and only talk to people about your beliefs and your values, to the people that you can honestly trust right now. Because I'm seeing a lot of deceit around here. Not so much in the situations, but more to do with the types of people. Particularly with that card. That card was really quite... So, Two of Wands. Yeah, do you. You do you, babes. You do you. That's why the Six of Wands is up right here. So it's about you being able to, you know, celebrate your own successes, the own things that go right with you. It's not about you blasting it all out on social media that you've done this thing. Just do you. Create your own little castle and just make your plans. Nobody else has to know about it. Knight of Wands is clarified by the Nine of Coins. Yeah, you're striving to gain some independence. But I don't know if you're making like certain decisions that kind of stop you from doing that. That stop you from asserting your independence. But I think it's good, actually, in a way, because you kind of being after that coin and independence helps you to keep you lay low. Do you know what I mean? It helps you to be, what's the word? Incognito. Doesn't, like, you're not out in the open. King of Swords, Ten of Wands. Yeah, there may be a personality that you're like, you know, you're not gonna really tolerate. And they're going to want to try and suppress you, but you're like walking away from it. So I think it's really important. And then also, let me have a look at the Chariot. Oh, you've got two there. Donnie Darko, and then you've got Death, and then you've got the Page of Swords again. Yeah, this is like full on, like, you know, this is, you have to look at this. You really have to look at these people that are coming across as they are, they seem like they are being, they might seem like they're being friendly, but I'm telling you, there's something that's not very, I'm not feeling it. I'm really not feeling it. So you have to be really careful. And people might come across to you in a way that might be very appealing. Pile 2, they may be very appealing, but you have to walk away from it. And it's almost like you've seen it happen so many times before, and now it's time for you to wake up to the possibility to this happening, because it seems like it's happened a few times, because the world is reversed here. So it seems like you're a bit stuck in a loop of this kind of behavior happening to you. So, and also with that North Node and South Node, it's something you need to learn. Don't chat about your stuff, man. Keep you, do you. And I think this is the lifetime where you're going to end it, because you've got death here. And Donnie Darko, funnily enough, is all about timelines. It's all about making sure that you follow the correct timeline. And understanding that. I really need to watch it again. It's brilliant. With the Page of Swords reversed, I mean, you know, taxi driver, and then it's reversed. I mean, you can't get really worse. And then we've got the Chariot. So yeah, I think there are going to be some people that come into your life that may seem like they're all legit. Just be really on guard and careful about it, because they want to plug into you and get all that juice, baby. That's what they want. Anyway, let's have a look at your other cards. So, let's have a little look. The Griffin, honor and good luck. And it's reversed, right? Yeah, I mean, there is this dishonest vibe that's going on. Not with you, with the people that are around you. It's like they don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to do well. They're a little bit parasitic. So just please be aware of that. Please be mindful of it. What's this? Oh yeah, and I pulled out 2 of these, and I wanted to do one for the afternoon. Ah, interesting. Wow, friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Wow. So, what does that mean in the context of what I've been saying? That means that you need to understand who really is your true friends. And also the friends that do come into your life and do that are not very nice, or, you know, make you wonder about why they're there. There's what's that saying? There's 3 different types of friends. Friends for a reason, friends for a season, and friends for a lifetime. So maybe that's something to think about in the respect of your friendships and about who you trust. Wow. And then we've got Kali, fear. Wow. That's a card, isn't it? So I think invoking Goddess Kali is going to be really important for you. Making sure that when you go into situations that you evoke her. Her legend is about like her being able to be fierce, embracing that divine feminine energy, but also understanding what needs to be cut out of life, what needs to die, what needs to end. So I think it's really important that, you know, you have to have that kind of fierceness about you. Interesting with her looking up and then that kind of like figure with the tongue coming out. But I think it's really important for you to really have your boundaries clear, which will stop you from giving into any kind of fearful behavior that may be instigated by these people that are around you. Beauty. I have a form which is divine. I allow what is within to shine. I have a form which is divine, and I allow what is within to shine. You can do that. Of course you can do that. But you don't have to You don't have to shout it out. I really do feel that. And I don't think that the two are connected. I think that you can still have beauty and you can still be beautiful from within, but you don't have to be, you know, I just think that you just have to be really cautious about who you're connecting with. And I think more so because people see this innocent nature about you and they want a piece. Big time. We've got 7, we've got 14. So sorry, not 7. So we've got a few 4s here. So 41, 4, 43. Any other numbers? No. So we've got 7, 4, and 5. So they're all like pretty intense numbers. At least 4 is the stability. So that's you. So you're the stability. And it's interesting because we've got 10 of Wands and we've got 2 of Wands here in terms of the numbers. 9 of Coins is reversed, which would have been the stability. But that's reversed, which is interesting. Meaning that there's still like somewhere to go in that respect. There's still some of the journey to go on. There's still something to learn. The world is reversed. And there's still something that needs to die. So yeah. But you're doing it. You're doing it. I just think that you need to be a little bit less naive. Okay, last card. We've got... Let me see if I can pronounce this. Kadal Hakbia. I tried, part 2. Okay, right. So let me just move the mic quickly. Water your wisdom and integrity so your vision grows and inspires others to mirror you. Oh, that's a beautiful message. Saturn and Aquarius. No, sorry, Saturn and Mercury in Aquarius. Yeah. I didn't even see the Aquarius sign there and I said it. So, Kalala Hagbia, I think. I don't know. Probably mispronounced that really badly. Anyway, water your wisdom with integrity so your vision grows and inspires others to mirror you. I think that's a beautiful message to end on, pile 2. Sorry about this shaky camera. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did like it, please do like it. Give it a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe if you like these pick a card readings. This is such a joy to do. Really beautiful stories coming out for you, pile 2. But do be careful. You've got something very precious. Kind of like Snow White, eh? I'm getting like Snow White vibes. So watch out for those evil queens, you know? So anyway, lots of love, pile 2. And have a beautiful, beautiful day. Take care. Bye. Hello, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. So very interesting with this Tinderbox Soldier card, because this is a story of ambition and chance and escaping. Can you really escape your destiny? Even though there may be some choices that you might not really like that you have to make. You might have to make that you don't like, but it happens. And it's really interesting how we have Libra reversed as well. And we also have the 11 reversed here, this card. Because whenever I see this card, particularly... Well, not this card, not the number 11, but when I see an image of the Tree of Life reversed, it always reminds me of the opposite of the Tree of Life, which is the Tree of Death. And when I pulled this card initially, I think of the kind of darkness of humanity, and about the things, the choices that we have to make, that's what came across in this story, because the thing is that sometimes we do have to make decisions that may hurt other people, but if it's in our interest, like if it's for the greater good, then it might need to happen, or if it's to make some kind of progress. Now that is very morally challenging. I'm not gonna lie, that's exceptionally challenging. So I think what this question or what this story is urging you to look at is what is it that you will do to forward your ambition? How far will you take it? That's what this story is telling me here. And also with the idea of 11 being here, with this being reversed, it's just, I feel that there's something that is unfair. And I don't know if it was something that has been taught in the respect of, like, you know, you've got to get what you can. Like, it's quite a opportunistic energy. And particularly with this morning, the world awaits you. It's like you're grabbing the opportunity by the balls, quite literally. And particularly with this Libra here as well, with these two like planets. So what this is saying so far is, what risks are you willing to take? And it's not saying that one is bad and one is good. It's just asking you to question it. It's asking you to look at it. And maybe the other way around. Maybe you're not taking the risks, but it's that whole thing. You may have to do something that you don't like to get what you want. And I'm not talking about compromising yourself in a major way. But I am interested about these two here, which tell me about something quite, I sense some dark energy here. Not dark in the respect of that, but just more dark as in devil energy. So more in the space of, well, the thing is that, you know, there's no such thing as always love and light, you know. Stories encapsulate this sense of both the darkness and the light. And that's something that really needs to be considered. We're made up of both. And to be honest, walking the middle path is the best path, but sometimes we may have to deviate in order to survive, to make the right choices for ourselves. Yeah, let's see what the Tarot has to say. This is really interesting, actually. And interesting how you, Pile 3, have chosen this pile as well, the Star Spinner's Tarot, because this is a deck that's full of that story. You know, nobody's a clear-cut prince or princess. It's all, you know. But hey, that's what I loved about Hans Christian Andersen's stories. They were always like, they never truly made the thing of the good, you know, the good prince or the good princess or the, you know, it was never as clear-cut as that. And that is what I'm getting from you, Pile 3. This is not a clear-cut story. There's sacrifices, and not just sacrifices, there's choices to be made. And what the definition of good or bad is really subjective. So you've got here, you've got the Knight of Wands reversed. The Five of Swords. Seems to me like disappointment has fueled your kind of, I wouldn't say you're cunning, but I'd say that you're strategic, Pile 4 and Pile 3. The Four of Wands. Because I don't know if you really have an idea of whether or not that you can be truly happy. So you have to just keep on keeping on. But also, another thing that I came across recently with that meaning of the Five of Wands is, with that Five of Swords, is that also, even though somebody may seem like they're being victorious or they seem like they're doing something, what price is it that they're having to pay? Are they really victorious? I mean, it's about defeat, this card. So who's really defeated? Very interesting. And then we've got the Hangman reversed. There is trickster energy here. I'm definitely feeling that for sure. Queen of Wands. And you've got two. Knight of Swords. So we've got Knight of Wands and Knight of Swords. And the Ace of Coins reversed. yeah, there's a fear that you may lose out on opportunities. So there's a trusting people. It doesn't seem to be like something that's really, you trust fate. It feels like more than you trust people. It's difficult. Like it's easier for you to trust yourself and how you work and how you can deal with things rather than deal with other people, because it seems like people didn't teach you how to trust properly. I mean, who did? Who did? I think there's more people there's more people who don't know how to trust properly than there are people who do know how to trust properly. It's a learning game, isn't it? The only time when I think we've been really able to like learn trust truly is when we were children. But this is about, you know, the harsh realities of the world and having to deal with that. Having to live life. And life, in Buddhist principles, the first noble truth, all of life is suffering. So yeah, I don't mean to be on a downer for this reading, but it's a very somber message in this reading, pile 3, from this story. And particularly with this deck. This deck is a somber deck. And you can see just all of the figures. None of them are all happy, joy. They're all like, they're all looking down, and they're all like, oh. I mean, even this 4 of Wands, the happiest card in the deck, or one of the happiest cards in the deck, is reversed. So it's almost like there's also like a misery. It might be safe. Oh, you know what? Okay, I'll tell you something. I used to be like this. I used to think that being pessimistic was really great, because if I was pessimistic, then at least I wouldn't be disappointed. And it's a bit like that. It's a bit like that. You're kind of like, there's a constructive pessimism that seems to work. But this is verging on the side of being a bit too pessimistic, I would say, and looking down. It's particularly with this kind of intensity that she's looking at the sword. But so much so that there's that focus that's there, that there's opportunities get missed. They get missed. It's almost like somebody who's being so frugal and so, like, you know, careful and meticulously planning for like the future or whatever, and like so much so that they forget to live life. And they do things. It's almost like that they do really cool things. So they may go and like do all the things, like the textbook things, like go on really amazing holidays and do really amazing things and have really amazing kind of lives. But there is a sense of seriousness to it that it comes from a place where where is it coming from? Where is it coming from, pile 3? Where is it coming from? You know? Not to say that that you can't fulfill your destiny and do what you need to do, but I just get the sense that it's very much that you have to consistently question why you're doing this, or wonder, because you might not even be wondering. You might be thinking, I don't need to look at any of that. I don't need to do any of that. I'm just going to double check this tinderbox. Yeah, it says, so the meanings here, it says a ruthless quest, choosing wisely. How will you repay a good turn? How will you use the gifts that you've been given? What harsh choice will benefit you the most? What choice can you live with? Can your choices stand up to scrutiny? How have you sacrificed your ethics? Desensitization, reconnect with your empathy. Yeah. It's coming back to the idea of where you were. Like, why are you doing this? You may be somebody that's like been, I can imagine like somebody who's quite like strong in business or like stockbroking or something like that. It's a hard profession to go forward and just like kind of hit it and hit it and hit it. They earn a ton of money, like so much money. But it's an interesting existence in that square mile. Well, in the UK, in London, it's the square mile where Canary Wharf is, and the financial district where it's there, and Fleet Street. And it's a particular type of person that's able to withstand that kind of energy, because it is an intense energy of like go-getter, money, 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 lifestyle, money. It's very interesting. So yeah, let's see what the movies have to say about this. So this is so far asking you to look at the way that you're doing things right now. Is it in congruency with your values and your ethics? Because with that Libra reversed, that's a difficult thing. Fire reversed, I definitely get that kind of energy of like so brash. All of the like, it burns the candle at both ends, burns it away into nothing, completely consumes, you know, that kind of energy. And it's interesting because she's here and she's asleep, and she's also underwater, she's in there, so it's almost like sleep may be your only rest and respite. Knight of Wands, Ace of Swords. I don't think that there is any communication, like the clarity of thought is not there at all. It's not happening. And interesting, it's I can't remember his surname, but it's Tyler from Fight Club. So the first rules of Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club, right? So And then, anyway, I'm not going to go into the story just in case you haven't seen it, but if you're not listening to yourself, this is advice to listen to yourself and get in touch with who you are, because it's the whole thing with the shadow, right? Because shadow, well, if you do not like deal with your shadow and at least recognize that your shadow is there, it will come back and it will come out in ways that you have never imagined. Never imagined. Three of Swords reversed. Five of Swords. Yeah, this is coming from some deep pain. This is like you healing this pain. And I mean, I'll be honest with you, like you are healing it. You are healing it. You are getting through it. But it's almost like it's coming at a cost. It's almost like you're healing this, but it's like it could. I don't know if it could heal faster. Of course, it could heal faster. If you, I don't know. I'm just getting the sense that there is something about the way that you are choosing for this pain to heal, or the way that you are choosing for this pain to heal, or for you to recognize something that traumatic that happened. It could be a breakup. It could be something that happened when you were younger. But then that spurns you to kind of like do the best you can. But you're fueled by that disappointment. You're fueled by it. And that's why I keep on saying, like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you do it? There's something utterly ambitious about you, pile 3. Utterly ambitious, but make sure that ambition doesn't consume you and your soul. For sure, your soul, right? Knight of Swords reversed. Interesting. And we got it in exactly the same place, I think, for pile 1. Or maybe pile 2, I can't remember. I feel like you're quite secretive as well. Yeah. You don't like to tell people when things... You don't like to tell people full stop. You don't. I don't think you would really communicate really about what you're up to or what you're doing, how you move forward. Your plans are very secret, I feel. Wow, King of Wands with the Hangman. I feel like you are so charismatic and people really are attracted to you and they really like what you do. They think that you... I don't know, I really see someone who is like a go-getter, somebody who's able to really succeed in financial kind of life and is just really, really good. And to other people, it seems like they've got everything that they've wanted, but really there is something there. And it's that hole that is kind of it's almost like you've got nothing to lose. So this is why you go ahead and you do what you do. So you're just going to keep on going like that. And it's not like you never have nothing to lose. It's like you've got an empire to build. You've got stuff to build. But why? Why? Pile 3, why? Look at that, Ace of Wands. Yeah, you're driven. You're so driven. You're so driven. Your sexuality is the key to your drive. King of Wands, Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands. Yeah. Your sexual drive is, you probably exercise a lot as well, pile 3. But if you don't, you've got like some hardcore sexual drive. And that may come out in some interesting ways, I don't know. But there is some intense energy that's here with this King of Wands and this Ace of Wands. Absolutely. Harrison Ford, Bruce Lee. Whew, hot. It's hot. It's really hot. And you don't rush in. Like you don't rush in because you almost feel like it's immature to do so. You feel like to keep back. This reading is reminding me of someone I used to know who was an incredible businessman. And also happened to be a Sagittarius as well. But yeah, there was definitely some interesting sides to him. In terms of what he did, how he lived his life, how he got his money, his ethics, his morals. Something to think about, pile 3. That's all I'm saying. This is what the story is telling. This is what these stories are telling me. They're telling me that, and also like the whole thing with the King of Wands here, with Indy being here, is that even though Indiana Jones is and it's interesting, when he came up before, I was thinking about, him being Harrison Ford and kind of rising up to this challenge. What I'm getting here is like the fact that, Indy is an opportunity. Indiana Jones is an opportunist. Absolute opportunist. He looks to, I'm just getting that shadow side of him coming up. Even though, still for the greater good, but definitely an opportunist. And then you've got the Ace of Wands, which means that there's this, it's very, very desirable. It's a very, very attractive energy that is driven. And even if you get a no, you'll still keep on going. You'll still keep on pursuing. Sometimes relentlessly. Because it's interesting, you've got the Knight of Swords up right here, but then you've got the Knight of Swords reversed there. So there may be some sense of how you put things across to other people. The images that you want to portray to other people. But how you are internally is quite obsessive. King of Coins. Yeah, you must be like entrepreneurs. You must be, or CEOs, or you're high up. Money flows to you like water. It does. And you're onto the next opportunity as well. So interesting. There's such strong masculine vibes that have come from these readings. Very strong driven energy. So it seems like for you to be driven and masculine is important. But there is a real absence of the feminine, real absence. We do have it with the Queen here, but generally there's not much. There's no pages here. I think, do we have the Page of Wands there? No, that's the Knight. So again, a Knight's. So yeah, very male energy. Very, very male energy. Oof, Ace of Cups reversed. Ace of Cups and the Ace of Cups. Wow. Well, pile 3. Okay. We've got the Page of Cups on the underneath. So, and that's Shakespeare in Love. So it seems to me that art is going to be really, really good for you to be able to kind of soften the blows of this hard male energy. It's so, God, there's a lot of sexuality in these readings. I'm not even going to lie. Pile 3 is really intense because, like, I felt it with one of the other piles. It was just deeply sexual. And here I'm feeling it's also deeply sexual, but it's because of the passionate energy. It's because of the energy of the drive, you know? It's just really intense. It's beautiful, though. But I do think that what it's trying to tell you here is just to keep your ethics in check. Because it seems to me like there may be a suppression of creative energy. And you may think that you're being creative, but there's something that you're not. And not even creative energy. Actually, this is more creative energy. This is about love. This is about emotions. This is suppression about emotions. And what's really interesting is in you suppressing your emotions, you stop your opportunities from happening. You may be able to capitalize upon a certain amount of opportunities, but here I'm feeling that there is something about love. And you suppress it. You suppress it because you think that, oh, it's not as important. And it will keep you at a loss. It will keep you in a sense of where you are not able to feel that you are enough. Because that's what, where is it? Yeah, that's what these two are about. You know, whenever I see people that are doing like really super well, they are fueled by something. It is and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just like, it's just the way it is. But I'm just saying there is a fuel there. And that's why I ask you, why are you doing what you're doing? Why? Is there anything else that you can look at to integrate in there that will help you? So let's have a look at your oracle cards, pile 3. Interesting message. It's that card. That card is insane. That story is insane. I would highly recommend you read that book, read that story, The Tinderbox Soldier, because it's dark. It's dark and it's deep. So yeah. And then you've also got this 11. And also, like, 11 is a master builder number. It's the initiator in the respect of, like, the first step of the master builders. So with that being reversed, what are you building? What are you building? And I don't see no like magician reversed or anything like that. So I think that you're ultimately pretty good, yeah, right, in the respect of like your intentions. But long term, what's going on? What's going on, pile 3? Tell me. I'd be so interested to know. So we've got Yemahaya, hope. There is hope for you, my loves. There is hope. There is dear hope. God, she's beautiful. Wow. So yeah, there's this real hope that you can change this. And I mean, I don't even think that this is about changing it. I think it's more about how you harness your power, because it's almost like you have got such a strong amount of power that you need to understand how you can use it for where do you direct the energy? Because it's such an intense energy. You guys are fantastic. You're amazing. Love it. Anyway, I'm just drawn in by this energy. I think it's really intoxicating. It's lovely. Serendipity. Bright new prospects are on the horizon. I don't think, honestly, you believe in serendipity. I think you're like, I make my own serendipity. But on the respect of this and the Ace of Cups being reversed, because that's what they look like. I don't know. I'm just getting that vibe. And also with that moon and also with these butterflies. There's something about, there's a block, there's a clamp down that is on relationships with other people. So maybe you don't let people get in close because there's a bit of a fear there. And I think that there's this thing where you're like, I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be on my own. I don't want to do this alone. And I want to be with someone, but why can't I connect with someone else? Why can't I do that? So that may be a thing. So maybe think about that. I remember speaking to someone about love. They said to me, like, Reena, tell me, like, why can't I find someone? And I said, well, you have to make room for them. Like, honestly, you have to, like, make room for them. And really, you know, understand things about being in a partnership. And with this Libra card here, there's none of that. Like, this is a one-man show, one woman or one person show. This is not a show about duality. This or about partnership. It's quite the opposite, particularly with these guys here. So if you want that to change, then there has to be some real reconfiguration with whether or not you're being in line with your true ethics, your true values. Oh, well, success. I know that there is no greater goal than to love. Oh my God. So that's really interesting. So I know that there is no greater goal than to love. Do you know that, Pile 3? Do you know that? That's what these stories are trying to tell you. Because also, like, in the respect of these men aren't that emotional, you know. Ace of Cups reversed. Suppression. Study. Let my mind be clear and strong. Let me study well and long. Wow. Number 9. So we've got 4. Yep. Emperor energy. Absolutely. 9, 11. Any other numbers? No. And yeah, oh God. Oh my God. Look. I didn't realise that. So you've got 11 as the tinderbox soldier. And then it's 11 here reversed. Wow. So the shadow aspects are coming out quite strongly for you, Pile 3. This is shadow. This is your shadow. This is confrontation with your shadow. Well, it had to come out. We were dealing with fairy tales, weren't we? So yeah, and you've got like flipping Fight Club as well. So yeah. That's intense. So this is about you understanding what the truthfulness is behind success. And you need to study in a different way. You need to study. You need to study again. You need to become a student again to be able to make that the other way around. So to close off your reading, I've got one of these beautiful Mentions of the Moon card. I will lift up the mic and I will also bring up the card. So bear with me. Sorry for the little shake there. Algol, defense and alliance. Protect yourself from those who do not wish you well, yet offer your help to those who most need it. And it is Taurus in between Saturn and Jupiter. So that is Algol, defense and alliance. Protect yourself from those who do not wish you well, yet offer your help to those who most need it. I just thought of something. In my Vipassana practice, one of the stories that our teacher speaks about is when you are a householder, which is somebody who makes money, like there's either a monk or a nun back in the day, or a householder. Those were the types of people that were out there. So people of the cloth or people of religion, and then there were people who made a living. And in order to stop the ego from like taking over, people would have to donate. They'd have to give service. They would have to give, not even service, but they'd have to give dana, donation, in order to to be able to make sure that their ego didn't take over. And we've got a lot of ego here, right? So maybe that might be something to look at in the respect of this reading, because particularly with that card with the ethics and also what's coming up and the idea that success, there is no greater goal than to love. It's really interesting. And this idea of hope. Maybe you've lost hope, Part 3, about things, and that's what drives you. But I implore you, there is hope, and love is possible for everyone. I promise. I really promise. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did like it, please do give it a thumbs up. But otherwise, my darlings, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I really enjoyed doing these readings for you. It's really nice. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye.